start the morning off trolling here in the man-made canals with the Green Hornet. Let's see what we can do. There we go. Oh, Green Hornet getting the little rascals today. I caught a few trolling, and we noticed our bites are coming from the same area, so I just dropped the trolling motor and we're going to just hone in on this one specific section right here. We're catching in about 20 foot of water, up on the bank, throwing way out. I just don't feel like a very big one. Usually when you're trolling, it's a lot of really quality trout, but we're starting off the morning here with just some schoolies. But we are getting bites, catching a few fish. I was trolling with the trolling motor this time and caught this one. Look at this little rascal here. He is not gonna make the cut. That is not your typical wintertime trolling speckled trout. But when you're trolling with the trolling motor, I like to go about, I don't know, 1.7 to 2 miles an hour, somewhere in there. You can bomb it out. On these, you can just let out about 2 full cast distances, and that really works. I got another pole rigged up with a piece of lead core that helps get it down some too. And another thing we do is we'll troll with the big engine, but when we do, we need to put a bucket out to be able to slow it down. And I just like to twitch that rod tip every so often. I like to keep the rod tip low to the water. That helps bring the bait lower in the water column. But see if we can get a few more. And I'll use my pole that's got a little piece of lead line when I'm doing that. And then we'll find some and then just put the trolling motor down and jig them. Or if when we're not catching them jigging, I can just put the trolling motor on like half speed and just start trolling again. But there's some fish in here. Nothing really incredibly impressive. I'm not really impressed with the size too much. This is a keeper right here. But I'm using the Green Hornet, and Sam's using the pink champagne and putting a few fish together.
I'm showing a few fish on a little rants.
Yeah, whenever you bump into one trolling though, you gotta just keep cranking in nice and slow. You don't want to tear their mouth. It's a long, drawn out process of reeling the fish in, because you gotta let so much line out so that bait can get down to the bottom. And we typically like to, troll in 10 to 25 foot of water. So depending on how deep it is how much line you let out. This one feels like a decent one here though. A lot of different ways you can do this. I simply just like putting a matrix on a jig head, like this Green Hornet right here, letting a lot of line out. It's a great thing to do when the weather's real tough, as these canals are all protected. And all of these man-made canals in the North Shore, they all hold these fish like this in the wintertime. Got a real foggy morning today. We'll probably go run around and do something different, but this is a great place to be in the fog, nice and safe in here. And we're having some fun catching some fish. The Green Hornet and the pink champagne are prevailing well. We're using 1/2 ounce and 3/8 ounce jig heads. It's really good to mix it up. Doing a little bit of both, and a lot of times one lure or the jig head size will be the one out fishing the other. That was nice quick start. I ain't even got the motor turned off yet. Before we went back in this other part of the canal, put the boat just in park and make a cast in this current right here at the mouth of the canal, and boom. See if they got a handful here, because it got to the bottom and already had a fish on. He's gonna be close. All right, so we just caught a few right here in the mouth. You never want to pass up the mouths of any of these canals. You got to give it a quick peek. Sometimes they can stage up right there because all of the current, it's a suction zone. But we're going to start the engine. First thing we're going to do is throw the bucket out. It's going to slow the motor down as the motor does pull these lures a little bit too fast. Put that bucket down, it slows it down to the perfect speed. Now the next thing I want to show you is like I got a uni knot here going from fluoro, our matrix fluoro, onto, I just keep a little bit of that lead core line to help get this bait down to the bottom. Just go ahead and clean the lure off. And we're gonna just make a short little cast out. What that lead core line does is it makes it to where you don't have to let quite as much line out. And you can go a little bit faster and still get that bait down. We're gonna let the whole spool out. I got this spool set just right where I like it when we're trolling that 15 or so foot of water. And like I said, we're gonna try to keep the boat between 1.5 miles to 2 miles an hour. Pretty much let all the line out and begin our troll. See if we can relocate these fish in the back of the canal. And all I like to do is just rod tip down and make little subtle jolts with the lure. You know, pop, 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 pull it up, and then let it fall back. And then what that lure will do, it comes up real fast and it'll kill. So it's giving it a little action. I mean, it's fine to just put the poles in the pole holder and let it pull. The matrix shad does a great job of just swimming naturally through the water. But I like to give it a little bit of action, a little bit of play. Let's move towards the back, see if we can do any good. If not, it's all good. We've already had a nice little start to the morning. Got this on the pole. I got the little lead core line leader on. But you'll be able to see it. There it goes. It's coming through the eyelets now. You'll be able to see how much I have. I'm still railing it in. Still got some more of it in. And then that's it. Oh, nice fish. Here we go, baby. That's what we're looking for. That's more the size of what I would call what's typical for trolling. It's something like that. That's your typically average size trout when you're trolling in the winter. Again, the lead core line, I got this attached to the 1/2 ounce jig head and a little piece of that matrix fluoro, maybe about 4 feet. Very good setup right here, very easy to just have a little piece of that lead core on 2 uni knots. That way you don't have to go through all of that stuff. You know, I don't have all of those trolling poles, so just a little piece of that lead core makes it all just good enough for that deeper water. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this nice, simple, short and sweet episode trolling matrix shads in the man-made canals off of Lake Pontchartrain, catching beautiful speckled trout. This is one of the most relaxing ways to fish to catch trout, but also very effective. Make sure to subscribe to our matrix bait box. Get your hands on some of the green hornets and pink champagnes that we were trolling behind the boat. Come out here, try to get your hands on some of these speckled trout. This lasts all the way through the winter into the spring. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, guys, and until next time, good fishing.